First of all, Mr. Secretary, again, we'd like to thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule to join us here this morning. We know you're a busy man. First question, you attended the recent superpower summit in Moscow between, of course, President Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev, and you also met with the Soviet defense minister to discuss military doctrine. Can you describe the result of those meetings, and do you believe there are more meetings planned for the future?
Well, I think the results were generally positive, but one has to put a summit in perspective. It is part of an ongoing dialogue that we've been conducting with the Soviet Union. The President's had 4 summit meetings now, where we discuss a full agenda. And the Soviets have basically accepted our agenda. That agenda is bilateral relations, human rights, regional issues, and arms control. At this particular summit, the President, by both his words and actions, emphasized the human rights theme, although there were good discussions on regional issues and some progress made on arms control. We're working toward a START agreement, an agreement banning chemical weapons. We're working on the nuclear testing issue. Some agreements there would enable us to verify, and then ratify a couple of existing treaties. Obviously, the 2 leaders themselves don't get into the details of these negotiations, but they set the tone. And while there are a lot of differences that remain between us and the Soviet Union, the summit does help to build understanding and to enable one side to comprehend better the other side's position. No question that there are enormous changes taking place in the Soviet Union. You mentioned my discussions with General Yazov, the Soviet defense minister. Those, I think, have been constructive. There we talk about avoiding dangerous incidents, where our planes may be buzzed or our ships rammed, or indeed in East Berlin where we've had people killed. We also talk about military-to-military contacts, and we talk about military doctrine. While the Soviets talk about a changed doctrine, it's important to note we have yet to see any tangible changes in Soviet force structure, and that they continue to pour enormous amounts of money, some 15 to 17% of their gross national product, into their military machine.
In regards to that superpower summit, Mr. Secretary, were there any discussions about help from the Soviet Union on helping, or on assistance from the Soviet Union as far as regarding North Korea, deterring them from trying to disrupt the upcoming Seoul Olympics, and begin cooperating on attempts to ease tensions here on the Korean Peninsula?
There have been discussions along those lines. First of all, the Soviets say that they're going to attend the Olympics, so they have every interest in seeing that the Olympics take place peacefully. They do indicate, though, that North Korea is an independent country, but they will make every effort to be helpful. We did have an exchange on the possibility of some kind of a dialogue between North Korea and South Korea. They fundamentally support the position of North Korea, which of course is an unacceptable position to us and to the government of South Korea.
Concerning your current visit here in the Republic, Mr. Secretary, what is the purpose of the ROC-U.S. Security Consultative Meeting being hosted this year by the Republic's Minister of National Defense, O.J. Boak?
Well, this is an annual event. This is our 20th such meeting. We alternate between Korea and the United States. We have a unique arrangement here. The United Nations Command, the combined forces. We don't have that kind of arrangement anywhere else in the world. So our cooperation has to be very close, and it has been. Been an enormous success. We've been able to deter aggression here in Korea for some 35 years. So it's important that we have constant communication, that we fully understand each other, and that we plan for the future. And one of the aspects of our meeting yesterday is that we began to look forward into the future. We've also heard reports from various working groups where increased emphasis is being placed on sustainability, and I think we're making good progress.
How would you describe the current state of ROK-U.S. military relations, Mr. Secretary? And do you see any changes coming up in that area in the future?
Oh, I think the current state of ROK-U.S. military relations is excellent. I'm very pleased with what I have seen here. Korea is a remarkable country. They've achieved enormous economic progress while maintaining their military strength. And as they move forward with both their economic progress and their military strength, obviously they'll be in a position to assume greater responsibilities, and they're planning for that now. And I think we constantly adjust our forces to the respective capacities of both sides.
As we all know, Mr. Secretary, the Republic is making extensive security preparations for the upcoming Seoul Olympics. And the ROK and the combined ROK and U.S. forces here in the Republic are fully ready to defeat any external aggression. How do you evaluate these preparations, and are you optimistic that there will be a secure as well as successful Seoul Olympic Games?
Well, the threat is there, of course, and I cannot predict what North Korea might do. They have shown themselves time and again willing to utilize terrorism to achieve their goals, whatever those goals might be. So one, of course, has to be alert. I have great confidence in the combined forces. Certainly we can deter any external aggression, or if deterrence fails, we're in a position to handle it. The United States will do its part in helping with the external threat. Internally, of course, the responsibility is basically Korean, South Korean, Republic of Korea. And there they have very capable forces. They have trained, they have planned. So I think everything possible is being done to ensure that there will be a safe and healthy Olympics.
Speaking of those forces you just mentioned, Mr. Secretary, if you had the opportunity to convey something to the armed forces, the soldiers, airmen, sailors, and Marines of the U.S. military who are serving here in the Republic, as well as the Korean Armed Forces, the Republic of Korea Armed Forces, what would you say?
I would say that this is probably one of the most important places in the world that they could be stationed. Unlike many of the young people coming in today, I remember the Korean War. I went into the military because of the Korean War. I remember the lives that were lost, how difficult a war it was, and I'm able to look back at the remarkable recovery of the Republic of Korea, at the deterrence that we've been able to build, and that is due to the fine quality of the combined forces soldiers, U.S. soldiers, Korean soldiers. The quality of our people coming into the military today is exceptional. It is as good as it has ever been, better than it has ever been, and I'm enormously proud of them. And they've got an opportunity here to serve their country in a way that is really unique. A unique relationship. They are welcomed by the Korean people. They're facing a potential threat which requires the utmost deterrence. So it is the maximum military mission, and I wish them Godspeed.
Last question, Mr. Secretary. We know you're a busy man. How would you assess the U.S. forces stationed here in the Republic?
Well, what I've seen is very impressive. High state of readiness, very high morale. People know that they're here on an important mission. We've been able to improve sustainability. We've been able to improve the equipment in the hands of our people. I visited here first in 1981, and there's an enormous change in the equipment, the state of readiness, and sustainability. We've made great progress in Korea. Not that we don't have additional work to do. You always have additional work to do, but I'm very pleased by what I've seen.
Mr. Secretary, again, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.